Okay. Congressman Perry, first of all, thanks for talking to
Yes,
us.
ma'am.
Your name has come up quite a bit
Sure.
in the January 6th hearings. What about that pardon? Cassidy Hutchinson says
Yeah.
you sought a preemptive pardon.
Look, the notion that I sought a pardon for myself or anybody else is just a baseless, soulless lie. Uh, and it should be of no surprise to anybody if this were considered evidence, just like Mr. Jordan's text. This committee, so-called, has lied about that, has tampered and modified these things. So it should
Why
be.
is he saying this?
Look, it's hard to prove a negative. I'm just telling you it never happened, and that's all I can say. So, and you know, regardless of what she's doing, balloon pop there.
I know. We had a couple out here.
Yeah.
That's all right.
You know, I think part of this is a distraction for what's really going on, and across our country and right here in our community, the things that are really concerning people every single day. And of course, you know, look, they have the executive branch, they have the legislative branch, so they own all of this, and they don't want to talk about the things that are plaguing people, like gas prices, furniture prices, you name it.
Why not go before the committee and tell them your side of the story?
This committee, so-called, I say that because it's not really constituted as a committee, has already determined the outcome. Would anybody else go before people that are known liars now, fabricating information, that have lied to the public? These same people have lied to the public for 4 years over alleged Russia collusion with President Trump. Would anybody, they've already determined it, and now they're just trying to make everything fit in there. There's no cross-examination. You get no due process in this committee. So why would anybody subject themselves to that? They already know what they want. It's a narrative that they want to create, and they're going to do it regardless.
Do you wish you would have done anything different as far as talking to Jeffrey Clark, getting involved in some of the president's claims?
My job, one of my jobs as a representative, is to echo the concerns of my constituents. And at that time, literally thousands of calls coming in, concerns about the election, about the integrity of the election. And I will remind everybody right now, under the current provisions, we're operating under a law that has been found unconstitutional by the Pennsylvania courts. That election, the last election, the next election so far. This is my job of oversight, and to echo the concerns of the people I represent.
Did the president go too far, though? There was violence at the Capitol. Is that just going too far in questioning an election and electors? An election that you won, and Republicans did very well in Pennsylvania.
Right. When Democrats question elections, as they have for 20 years at the federal level, nobody says a thing. When the president orders 20,000 troops, asks for 20,000 troops to come in based on a briefing of potential violence, and is rebuffed by the Speaker of the House and the Sergeant at Arms who works for the Speaker of the House, the head of security, questions are appropriate.
Should he have done more to stop the violence at the Capitol?
He asked people to go and peacefully protest. Look, bad things happened, and we lament every single one of them. But at the end of the day, we're all responsible for our own actions.
Would you have changed your vote in not certifying the election?
Absolutely not. Those questions still remain. Those things were still done by unelected bureaucrats in Pennsylvania. We still have a law that's currently unconstitutional. No, those are still valid, and those concerns, many of them, have yet to be answered.
And a last question. I know you say no pardon that you sought for anything. Any idea where Cassidy Hutchinson is getting this?
I'm not. You have to ask Cassidy Hutchinson. I speak for Scott Perry.
Yeah. And you think it's going to be a key issue in your election? You've got an upcoming election.
Look, again, I know the Democrats are hopeful that January 6th is front and center on everybody's mind. But Barbara, you know, because you're talking to people, fuel prices, food prices, crime on the streets, a wide open border, all these things, the cost of living every day, and people that are worried about being able to go on vacation, get to work, their kids in school being indoctrinated. That's what they're concerned about. That's what I'm hearing about.
And I know, in fairness, I said I'm going to bring that up. You feel Republicans have some strong issues to run. I know, Democrats are trying to play up now the Supreme Court ruling on abortion. Talk about some of the issues you feel will be strong, and will Republicans take over the House?
I think that Republicans will take the House. We still have to do our work. The number one issue is the cost of living for average people. People are being crushed every single day, not only by food prices and gas prices, but unable to get certain things or unable to pay their normal bills and live their normal life. The value of their dollars they earned, inflation is taxation. It doesn't go as far, and so they have to choose between things, and they're not used to that. They don't like it, and they know that the party in charge right now, the Democrats, have created this issue.
Do you support the Supreme Court? I know you do support the Supreme Court decision on Roe v. Wade, but are you concerned that that will hurt Republicans?
It shouldn't, because it's put rightfully in the place where it should be. Right back to the states. States can decide. You have a voice. You can elect people that echo your voice. That's where it was supposed to be. There was never a right guaranteed in the Constitution. It was a faulty ruling back in the 1970s, and even Ruth Bader Ginsburg said that.
Do you believe in exceptions?
An exception? Yeah. Sure, there are exceptions. Yeah.
Rape?
Yep.
Incest?
Yep.
Life of the mother?
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else you want to talk about here? I'll give you a
Look,
closing comment.
I have as far as the Supreme Court goes, there have been decisions that I've disagreed with and been disappointed with, but I accept them. And if you don't like them, then you can work to have them changed when you think that they're wrong. This has been a 40-year effort to change one that was been wrong. The Supreme Court at one time found that segregation was legal and righteous, and found that slavery was legal and righteous. There's a process by which to do it. Violence is not the answer to do that. Do your work and convince your neighbors and your friends, and if it's right and righteous, it will happen.
And you're not going to be watching the rest of the hearings?
No, I haven't watched any today, and I don't plan to. I've got important work to do of trying to represent my constituents and the things that are concerning them. And quite honestly, the hearings are of little concern to them.
Okay, thanks.